Concord might be the biggest failure to ever exist in the history of video games ever. Just a colossal waste of time and resources, a real poor outing for all involved. Like, oh my god, if I worked on Concord. But is it actually? So long as a commercial industry exists, there is room for commercial failure. For every cherry Pepsi Max, there is Crystal Pepsi. For every Dorito chili heat wave, there is, what is this, flaming dill pickle? If I get anybody defending this in the comments, 2024 has been an incredible year. For failure, got him. What's on? We could go and see. We could see. Honestly, I don't even remember what happened, but I do remember a lot of screaming. But how can you quantify failure? Money? Reception? Looking in the mirror. Well, to find out whether this colossal failure is the colossal failure, we've got to step into my time machine. Through history we go! I lay a day closer to death. Let's take a look at hardware. Back in the day, hardware was the biggest selling point in the video game industry. Whether you had 8 bits, or 16 bits, or 32 bits. I have man bits. The thing is though, hardware used to miss. Like a lot. Nowadays, we've got like 4 kind of main console systems. You got your PlayStation, you got your Xbox, you got your Nintendo Switch, and you got the Game Station. And there is reason for that. Sega had a slam dunk with the Sega Mega Drive, or Genesis if you're from America, shifting over 30 million units and invading 30 million homes with the blue speed mouse. But then Sega brought about the 32X, which is like back when video game systems were like a very expensive Lego set. And the 32X had really weird marketing.
Anyway, I've been getting pounded. I thought I should get my head checked out, make sure there's no damage, man. I mean, no more than usual, right, Doc?
Regretfully, the 32X completely bombed. It was described as the poor man's next gen. Only selling 665,000 copies and then clearing inventory at under $20. Oh dear. That was the Gold Star 3DO. This George Foreman looking ass grill, $700. Adjusted for today's money, that is over $1,400. And the people that made the 3DO refused to come down on that price point because you see, the price point of the 3DO is so high because it's not just a video game console. No, you can also use it as a family entertainment device and put your family DVDs on there too. I watch VHS. Can I watch VHS on it? So you can also play Captain Quasar, the Amstrad GX4000, the Pippin, the Atari 5200, the Atari Lynx, the Atari Jaguar. Wait, hang on, hold on a second there. I guess that would be them out of the console race then. They wouldn't try and come back and make a console, would they? Why? The CDI failed despite having Link and Zelda and boobies. The list of hardware failures is vast and deep, like your mem, but are any of them something you can point at definitively as the biggest loser? Well, the standard console or game can generally be held to the generation that it belonged to at the time of release. You might not like anything that the Nintendo Wii U did, but you can't compare it to the Vectrex. That being said, however, every generation has got its standards, and it doesn't matter what generation it is, you can still look at something and think, this might be the greatest thing I've ever played, Tony Hawk! And you can equally also think, in 2 weeks, the game will take place. Wow, this exists. So just as the crash course goes with video game hardware, it's exactly the same with software. It's taken a lot of schlock to get us to Modern Warfare 2 griefing with riot shields. To get games like The Last of Us and Red Dead Redemption 2, we've had to sit through Little Britain, and Mr. Bean. Every single aspect of creating a video game has improved, from the world building to the character design to the casting to having Keith David himself yell at us. Ramirez! From strength to strength, we gone from the standard being generally this, and now it's just visual sex. And therein lies the problem with almost anything today. The standards are so high. Can you please come down? No. And in the world of genre games, it's no different. You want to make a battle royale? Well, you better make sure that it stands out against the likes of PUBG or Fortnite or Warzone or Apex Legends. You want to make a survival horror game? That's awesome, but just don't do the Grey Hill incident. So when it comes to making a hero shooter, what are we up against? Well, for starters, you've got the likes of Valorant, a game that answers the question, what if I took Counter-Strike and I took Overwatch and they nicked off from the friendship group to have a quick blast behind the bike shed? There, of course, is a lot of unique elements to the game, the characters, their personalities, their abilities, a lot to enjoy unless you like Grim, because apparently Grim, no one... What? Valorant is very accessible as well for a couple of reasons, because you can transition if you want to play a game like CSGO, but you prefer to throw goo at your enemies, you could go to Valorant, but also, more importantly, it's free to play. Team Fortress 2 is an arena shooter with just so many game modes. It's got a loud cast of characters with a bunch of animated shorts to show you what they're all about, and it even got this amazing pilot that was supposed to be picked up by Adult Swim and it didn't get picked up. It makes me so sad that we didn't get a series. Oh, man, what? But the game itself has existed since 2008. And it's nearly been around for 20 years now. Its all-time peak player base actually being in 2023, with about 250,000 people. Boy, howdy, I wish I had 250,000 people. But how is it managing to retain a player base after all of this time? Well... But here's something wild about these games in particular. In these games, you can support the developers and the publisher by buying into things like cosmetics and bundles and the Fortnite Battle Pass. But otherwise, if you want to come in and play this, you can do it in free. It's free of charge. Come on in. It's a game. Nobody's out here asking for something ridiculous to play something like this for $40. Are they? Like, it would be ridiculous to ask for something for full price when there are already free and next to free adjacents that are incredible already existing in the market. So does that mean that it's enough to just make something free and expect people to pour through the door? No, because if you've been paying attention to anything that I've been rambling around while standing in front of this green wall, it's that there are a lot of things that have got to come together for this big hero pie to satisfy everybody. Yeah, my voice cracked there. I'm 27. So when it comes to Concord, my first impressions of the Concord trailer were as follows. Oh, cool. Sony's making a Guardians of the Galaxy type game, you know? I actually really liked Square Enix's one, so an original take on a different story might actually be. It's a hero shooter. Another one. Another one. Another one? So let's really weed out why Concord just this. How did this game have a shorter lifespan than Liz Truss in Office? Let's have a quick look at the characters. One of the biggest shortfalls that Concord had was that it just didn't stand out. And the problems start in the reveal trailer, because you watch this and you go, oh! Guardians of the Galaxy. Of course, the reveal trailer has its own problems with derision, but then you look at the things that they tried to make original, like the rest of the characters. The clothes that they're wearing looks like someone ran into a wardrobe in the dead of night and said, whatever I come out wearing, that's a character. Okay, put that light on. Hands up, spaceman! Remember what I said about the whole $40 thing? Yeah, this game released at a price of at least $40. A $40 hero shooter that relies on its multiplayer player base to exist. Why would you pay $40 for a weird reskin of Overwatch or Team Fortress 2 when they already exist, are successful, reliable, and more importantly, are free. See, if you hide things behind a paywall, they've kind of got to be worth it, right? And that's why over on my Patreon, you get access to a podcast, but I'm also going to be reading fan fiction. Rainbow Six Siege has a seasonal anime that comes out at the beginning of every season to kind of further the story and develop the world. And it's really good, and I would watch this if it was a show. There are other games that have these fully motion captured cutscenes that play at the beginning of seasons, but here's the thing. They have established player bases, and they can afford to do this because of the sheer volume of money falling through the letterbox from cosmetics and Fortnite Battle Pass. Concord jumped in the deep end and just rallied itself behind fully motion captured cutscenes, which were supposed to further the story of the in-game Concord. What? Money?
In terms of money, we have no money.
A lot of people try to point the woke finger at this game, and I don't stand by that at all. I don't think this game failed because it included pronouns or that it included the LGBTQ community. I think if that is your genuine opinion, this is you. Pronouns! A game doesn't fail for being progressive. Overwatch 2 didn't fail because it had Tracer, who likes girls. Rainbow Six Siege didn't fail because it has all of these LGBTQ operators. Concord failed because it was an uninspired, derivative, misguided, overpriced waste of time and money. Concord had a budget of around $400 million and a production cycle of 8 years. And upon release, it made $1 million.
Wow, look at all this cash. What should we spend it on?
Concord is without doubt the greatest generational failure that we've ever seen. E.T. was physically purged. Concord has been digitally purged. But when you weigh it up against some of the greatest failures of recent memory, is it the worst? Absolutely yes. Why didn't you say that in the first place so I could go back to watching shorts? So Redfall, Duke Nukem, APB, Modern Warfare 3's campaign. There is no greater failure than Concord. Sony shuttered Firewalk Studios without a second thought, and do they deserve better? Of course they do. They probably crunched a bajillion dog years in just working on one thing, and to have it go this bad, that's gonna really hurt, man. But here's why that isn't a super terrible bad thing. The modern game machine of crunch, overworking, overtime, hour crunching, sleeping in the office, it sucks. Not to mention all the terrible things you can read about in this book about Blizzard. We learned how not to do consoles by riding the rapids of history and bumping off all of these rocks on the way down. And maybe, just maybe, we'll ride these same rapids and learn how to do software as well. Does this metaphor make any sense? Concord has made an incredible dent in Sony's wallet. Let's just hope that the lesson is something that they listen more to than the money. This video was made possible by the good folks on Patreon. If you would like to influence what I make next, go over, have a little look, sign up if you like, get amongst the votes, listen to the podcast that I put out there after every video. And I'm going to read fanfiction now as well because it's funny. So thank you for all your kind words. Thank you for all of your support. And I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Be kind. I've been Stag. You as always have been wonderful. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. I must go now. My people need me.